Hi there, this is Teacher Harek. Our topic is all about plan, front elevation, and side elevation of a three-dimensional shapes. Our objectives: at the end of this video, the students will be able to identify two-dimensional images from the top view, front elevation, and side elevation of a given three-dimensional shapes. Sit back, relax, and let's learn together. Again, our topic is all about plan, front elevation, side elevation of a three-dimensional shapes. Sit back, relax, and let's learn together. Beside nets, there is another way to represent three-dimensional shape in a two-dimensional. It is to look at it from the front, side, and top. Now, let's learn what is a plan, front elevation, and side elevation using this figure. The first thing that we are going to know is what is a plan. A plan is what we call a bird's eye view. Is what you see if you are hovering directly over the top of the object, looking down on it. Sometimes it is called a top view. Our next one is what we call front elevation. Front elevation is what you see if you are standing directly in front of an object. Sometimes it is also called a front view. Our last one is what we call side elevation. Side elevation is what you see if you are standing directly to one side of the object. It is also called a side view. Let us remember we have different kinds of views. If you are looking at the top, it could be a top view or a plan. If you are going to stand at the front, it could be a front view or a front elevation. If you are at the side of an object, it could be a side view or a side elevation. Now let's try using a three-dimensional object such as a cylinder. What two-dimensional shape we can see if we're going to look at the top, front, or side of this object? As we can see, if we are going to look for the plan or the top view of this object, we can see a two-dimensional shape, which is a circle. If we're going to look at the front, we can see a rectangle. If we are going to look at the side, we can see also a rectangle. Let's use another example of a three-dimensional object, which is a cube. If we are going to look at the top of this cube, we can see a square. If we are going to stand at the front of this object, we can also see a square. If we are at the side of this object, we can also see a square. From top view to front elevation and side elevation, we can see a two-dimensional shape, which is a square. Before we are going to have our activity, let us remember that we have different types of views. It could be a plan, a front elevation, or a side elevation. Let's try this three-dimensional object. I will give you 10 seconds to answer it, to locate what is a plan, front elevation, and side elevation. Your time starts now. 2, 1, 0. Now, if we are going to see the plan of this object or top view, we can see two shapes, which is a rectangle and a square. If we are going to see the front elevation or the front view of this object, we can see an L shape. The side elevation of this object, we can also see a rectangle. I hope that your answer is correct, and if you do, then give yourself a round of applause. Let's try another three-dimensional object. I will give you 10 seconds to answer it. Let's identify what is our plan, our front elevation, on our side elevation. Your time starts now. 0. Now everybody, we are going to identify what is our plan, our front elevation, and our side elevation. If you got it all correct, then give yourselves a round of applause. Let's try another three-dimensional object. Still 10 seconds to answer it, to locate your plan, your front elevation, and your side elevation. 2, 1, 0. Time's up. Now we are going to know what is our plan, front elevation, and side elevation of this three-dimensional object. If you got all the correct answer, give yourselves a round of applause. The end of our topic. I hope that you learned something from the video. Thank you and see you next episode.